Thank you for joining us. This is a short presentation on the M-46 corridor study, which was given during our in-person public workshop on July 28th. MDOT is collaborating with a consultant team, DLZ, an engineering firm, and MKSK, a planning and landscape architecture firm, to conduct this study over the next few months. During this video, you will learn about the study area, the purpose and overall goals of the project, as well as what will be included in the final study report. We will also discuss some of our existing conditions analysis that has been completed for the corridor so far. And then we will describe how you can give feedback and next steps for the planning process. The M-46 corridor study area is over 8 miles in length and stretches from the river to the I-75 interchange. The study area traverses through Saginaw Township, the City of Saginaw, and Buena Vista Township. MDOT recognizes that the pavement conditions along this corridor are in poor condition and the road will need to undergo reconstruction. Keeping this in mind, there are potential opportunities to make improvements beyond repaving the road. The goal of this project is to identify improvements that the community and stakeholders wish to be included. Here's a list of some initial goals for the corridor. The corridor should accommodate existing and future traffic volumes, including truck traffic. However, we also recognize that we are not just planning for vehicles and moving traffic along the corridor. We also want to look at how we can better accommodate all modes of transportation and improve access for bikes and pedestrians. Another major goal is to enhance safety and reduce crashes. And then we also want to look at how the corridor can be enhanced with things like streetscape improvements, gateways, and other elements that help support and encourage economic development and also help with traffic calming. At the end of this process, there will be an overall corridor report, which will include the project purpose and goals and an existing conditions assessment of the corridor, which will include traffic volumes, crash data, and level of service. Based on our analysis of the data and of the input that we receive from stakeholders and residents, we will develop a series of improvement strategies and recommend phased improvement alternatives for road design options along the corridor. The report will also include cost estimates, guiding which recommendations are short, medium, and long-term improvements. Part of our assessment included looking at existing character along the corridor. The corridor was broken down by typical land uses, and we also noted connectivity and gaps in the non-motorized network and general streetscape characteristics. Generally, there is a lack of multimodal connectivity along M-46. Sidewalk gaps are frequent, and bus stops have little to no amenities. Streetscaping is also inconsistent and sparse in many areas. Overall, there is a lack of buffering between the sidewalk and the street, which can contribute to pedestrians and bicyclists feeling unsafe along it. Speeds are faster along the corridor, even where it is posted for 35 miles per hour, and some intersections appear to be unsafe for crossing people. Historically, traffic volumes were significantly higher for many segments of the corridor in 1970 versus in 2018. This is due, in part, to large industrial businesses leaving the area or consolidating their services. Additionally, there is a larger percentage of residential vacancies along the middle portion of the corridor today. We reviewed crash data along the corridor to determine where there are safety concerns. This map shows the western half of the corridor. Darker colors indicate a higher concentration of crashes. Typically, you will see more crashes at signalized intersections. In this case, the Center Road intersection and the one-way pair, part of the corridor, west of the river, are both areas where there is a higher concentration of crashes. For the eastern portion of the corridor, Remington Street and Holland Avenue, as well as Outer Drive, also experience a higher density of crashes. Crash data was also reviewed to look at vehicular crashes involving pedestrians and bicycles. The greater injury crashes occurred where there is already a higher concentration of crashes overall, as you saw on the previous maps. Pedestrian and bicycle safety is a primary goal to address in this study. Engaging residents and stakeholders throughout this process is key to the success of this project. There are multiple ways for you to provide feedback. MDOT has a project website set up. The link is listed here. On the website, you'll find links to a brief survey and an interactive map to give feedback along the corridor. Please contact Brian Stark, Transportation Planner for MDOT, for more information, or if you have questions. His phone number and email are listed here. The next step in this process is to dive into analysis of the design alternatives for the corridor based on what we hear from you on the top priorities for improvements. Another public workshop will be held in the fall, where we will present the draft recommendations and where you will have an opportunity to weigh in on the future design options for the corridor. Thank you for viewing our presentation. We look forward to hearing your input on how to improve the M-46 corridor.